Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Path of Exile 2, and in case you were not here, last time we were streaming PoE 2, I guess first of all, this is not the day that we've typically been streaming PoE 2, it's in part because scheduling things tomorrow, our usual day, probably aren't ideal for me. Granted, work went 4 hours late today, so today didn't end up being a great day either, but that was unexpected. So, trying to squeeze in some stuff for today, but as a quick review of what happened last time, we were testing out some stuff with our character that we had been working on as our primary character for this league. However, one of the mechanics that we were planning to build around, namely the energy refunding process through the collapsing horizon, did not work in the way that we thought that it would with our number crunching. I mean, it wasn't that we necessarily crunched the numbers wrong, it's just that the numbers that we thought would apply did not, in fact, apply. So fundamentally, the thing that we were planning on doing, or at least an aspect of the thing that we were planning on doing, will not work. So we're kind of in a place where trying to figure out, hey, do we still feel okay about this character? It does still do a lot of the things that we were hoping we would be able to do with it, but there's at least one interesting aspect that unfortunately it does not look as though we will be able to do. So, kind of putting that aside for the time being, I'm going to continue to stew on that and potentially continue to, well, there's maybe a jewel plus a particularly expensive crafting material that allows you to apply a jewel socket to a helmet, and those are the two main things that I was potentially still trying to save up for to really finish the build, but that may or may not be something that I continue to try to save up for, because there is a new thing that we might try to save up for, and that is that today we are going to start a new character. And as I said, we'll basically have this guy on the side. We potentially may revisit him later on, but there is something else that I am interested in exploring, and we in fact did start to plan things out a little bit last time. So, I'm going to head back to the character selection screen here, and big picture, the idea that we are trying to work with here is to have an infernalist who goes with face breakers, basically meaning unarmed damage, with the assistance of hollow palm technique to have a crit-based unarmed build. So that's very broad brushstrokes, very big picture, the plan that we're looking for. I don't think that I had made a skill tree when we were last checking in on stream, but here you go. This is the skill tree. Of course, somewhat to be determined because we have yet to even try playing this character yet, and so this is largely theoretical, and there may be some things that we wanted to do that don't make sense, or vice versa. In fact, I already know that there's at least one thing that we will need to add on top of what I had planned here. We need to find a way to get poison immunity. So that's an aside for now. Long term, that is going to be something to bear in mind, but big picture, Infernalist, Facebreakers, crit, which means with Hollow Palm, we need to have a lot of energy shield in order to increase our base crit chance with the Facebreakers, because usually unarmed damage would have, at PoE 1 it used to be 0. Absolutely impossible to crit with your unarmed damage unless you did some very specific things to increase the base crit chance. It's non-zero in PoE 2, but it's 5%, which is very low. So we definitely need to boost it. This is the main way to do so. With Hollow Palm, also gives us access to quarterstaff skills with our unarmed damage, which is nice. We may be interested in using those longer term, but Facebreakers also gives us access to one-handed mace skills as well. So we have the option of going with either of those sorts of things. We'll actually have more skill flexibility with unarmed damage than we will with a weapon. Usually you'd be locked into just one category with a weapon. So anyways, that's that. Then the reason why we are looking to go Infernalist is because by reserving 25% of life here, 25% here, and 25% here, that means we will have, doing some basic math, 75% of our life reserved, meaning that we will always count as being on low life, which means we can benefit from one particular low life points, the notable, or the keystone, Pain Attunement, and we'll get 30% more critical damage all the time from this. So that means that our critical damage scaling is just far more efficient. So that is the main reason why I was interested in going this route. We've done all these critical hit-based builds, and yet we have not taken Pain Attunement at this point on any of them. So it's only a matter of time before we found a way to make it happen, and this seems like a way to do it. I wish that we could get slightly more ascendancy points, because speaking of crit damage, we could get 50% more crit damage, which is, of course, even higher than the Pain Attunement number, although comes at a different type of cost here. But, alas, we need to be on low life, and therefore the only way to absolutely guarantee that all the time with the Infernalist is by taking all 3 of these. And so, even though we don't really need... Which one is it? The one that gives us... Yeah, mana. This one's not really going to give us that much benefit. This one gives us Spirit, which is useful. This one gives us Energy Shield, which is useful. Less so for that. It is possible to reserve life outside of this process here, but this is by far the most straightforward and also by far the most affordable way to do so. So we would almost immediately, and by almost immediately, yeah, we would immediately price ourselves out of this build if we tried to do it with the one other way is with a lineage support gem, which is exorbitantly expensive. So if we happen to stumble across that, then suddenly we don't have as much of a need for any of this stuff here, but we could then, say, drop you, spec into you. We'd probably need to make a host of adjustments in order to accommodate this, but hey, it's 50% more critical damage, and so one could argue that we should be building around this in the first place rather than Pain Attunement, but alas, that is, at least as it currently stands, not what I've planned to do. Maybe we can change that on the fly, or not on the fly, it'll take more planning than that, but maybe we can change that in the future, I don't know. That, admittedly, is not something I'd really given much thought to until approximately 2 minutes ago, when I realized that number is in fact bigger than the number on Pain Attunement, but that's an aside. That's not important. What is important is that we should make this character here, so why don't we do just that? I have already started to pick up some of the gear that I anticipate we will want to use on this character. This would be a witch. Let me just double check. Sorceress, or rather, Infernalist is witch, not sorceress, correct? Witch Infernalist, yes. Okay. That would be unfortunate if we were to have picked the sorceress instead. So, okay. Do this. We do this. But yeah, I've started to pick up some of the gear for this character. In fact, we have a lot of it, but it is definitely a character that, if we invest a lot into it, we can get some crazy damage scaling. Quite possibly the highest damage we've gotten from any of our quote-unquote omni-crit characters thus far. So I find that exciting. Of course, it's largely theoretical at this point. We'll have to see how much of that actually pans out. The other thing that I forgot to mention is that with the Facebreakers, scaling our strength gives us a more damage multiplier rather than the PoE1 Facebreakers that just gave you a flat, more unarmed damage multiplier. Instead, this one scales that more damage multiplier based on how much strength we have. So we are highly enticed to get a lot of different things on this build to maximize the damage, including strength. Okay, so let's see. Name of the character. One moment while I see if this is like too offensive to make as a character name. Probably not too bad, but it is, to quote Wikipedia, it is a pejorative term. So, does it go too far? Maybe. Maybe it does. Would it be self-deprecating in this context? Yes. Because I was going to use use that word to describe myself, but that still may not be appropriate. So, you know, there are several different things I would like to name this character that I don't know that I can. Unfortunately. Let's see. So we could just go for a very straightforward, boring name, which I don't like. I would prefer to have a more clever name, but at last, I don't know if we can do that. Let's see. No, that's one of the phrases that I don't think we could do. Oh, no. Yeah. That's the one that, I knew some of them wouldn't work, but it's more recent one I thought was going to be maybe okay, but it might not quite be passable. That's a movie, right? That's okay, isn't it? That's something. Is that yeah, that's a Bruce Lee movie. Okay. That's not very creative, but we'll take it.
What? The witch is escaping! Kill her!
Okay. So, once we get into town, we have some several pieces of gear that I think we can throw on immediately or almost immediately. It will more or less dramatically change the way that this build is going to work. I mean, saying that this is a build in the very first zone is, you know, maybe an overstatement. Do we not have... Oh, we don't have auto equip on. Yeah, no, that is right.
Oh, I'm going to
Let's check out. What's up, Amy? How's it going? May or may not be fishing. Oh, I didn't realize we get this as well as the witch. This is not the first witch I've played. No. But it was a long time. It's one. I don't think it's. I think it's the second character I played was a witch. But it's been a while. We really don't need to be taking these guys out, to be honest with you. There's another one of these. That's what I was expecting to get from...
I welcome it.
From the chest. It's a gem that actually goes here. Why am I trying to activate that as if it's a spirit gem? Yep. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Yeah, again, don't really need to be fighting these guys. So let's skedaddle. This layout feels different than the way it used to be. Okay, well, this is the... right? Isn't that the fight? The bows? I'll do this just to get some of these guys out.
Vanilla, I presume.
Naturally, they've all despawned. Trying to get some of them out. There we go. Oh, that was a stun already. Okay, that works. Please don't do that. Yeah, I would like if you just kind of stand there and let me hit you, to be honest. That's sort of what I appreciate. There we go. Okay. As I said, once we get into town, things should go a fair bit quicker. We can throw on some pretty game-changing stuff that I think should make the leveling process quite quick, theoretically.
Renly's then, but I Smith. There's a beast.
Dangerous thing to do, but I do anticipate that,
Here's what I got.
I do anticipate. Oh, well, that's fantastic. I totally anticipate that. No, I anticipate this is going to be a relatively quick leveling character.
Go well.
A kind leader.
Let's do...
Hopefully he survives.
Okay, so let's see. Oh, where are the face breakers themselves in the unique tab? There might be. Okay, so I did pick these up in anticipation of wanting movement speed boots right off the bat. But then we got some, and I mean, we probably do still benefit more from these, but it does. It is nice. Also, this too, which just balloons our strength, because our balloons our strength and by extension our life. So that actually isn't all that necessary. All the things that we just picked up don't matter, as it turns out. So these give us flat damage to our attacks, which is really nice, especially at an early level. So that is going to be quite a bit more than we would have otherwise had. And life regen, which is a small number, but again, low level, useful. And then the chance to intimidate is a debuff that is actually quite useful to increase our damage. Okay, so where did the face breakers go? Here they are. Okay, so the thing with the face breakers is this is not a base version of face breakers. It's a corrupted version, and with this corrupted version, I have made a point of picking one up that has improved its statistics, at least, for all the big things, it is better than it would usually be. The stun buildup, not a huge deal, but it has more flat damage and gains more flat damage per boss's face broken, the phrasing of which is just incredible. Basically what that means is if you think about on the world map, where you're in a zone and it'll show you the various different zones that you can go into, the waypoints, the major quests and bosses there, all those things. If you can imagine the bosses, in fact, we can look at this right now, can't we? This here, if you look at the bosses, how they have basically a skull, the face breaker, the boss's face is being broken is basically representative of us completing these encounters that have the faces on them. What isn't 100% clear to me is if this only applies to the bosses that are uniques, the orange life bar or orange name with their life bar, or if it also includes, there are some rare, meaning yellow life or name on their life bar, mini-ish bosses. I'm not sure, and those do still get crossed out when you defeat them. So I'm not sure if those count or not, but big picture at least, that's the general concept for how we get the extra flat damage from phase breakers. And then, as I was saying before, the more strength we get, the more of that unarmed damage multiplier we get. So you could get absolutely insane amounts of strength, and that more damage multiplier just goes through the roof. So across those two things, you can get some pretty insane damage on these. Theoretically, could be higher than just about any actual weapon. So that's the goal in some ways. I mean, we aren't going to be a pure strength build, so we're not going all in on that, given how we have those other things we're trying to do with our crit chance and crit damage. But if we throw these on, that does, of course, mean we're going to have to get rid of you. But it says 14 to 20 damage now. And theoretically, if we were to say, defeat this boss, that number should immediately go up. But let's try going here. I think we're going to want a mace skill. And admittedly, I have not spent much time using maces at all. A little bit with some of our other builds that have flexibility with their weapons. But that is almost, has always been, once we've gotten to end game, fully built out the character, and we can switch around whenever we want. I have not leveled with any mace characters before, so that experience at least is new to me. I mean, Earthquake is oftentimes fun in PoE 1. Rolling Slam sounds like it has the most built-in mobility, though. Yeah, let's actually take a look at these.
Slam strikes twice and can be redirected as you move.
Oh, this reminds me of the dude in
effective
Act 3.
The second slam
Is it
larger
Joquani?
and deals more damage. While Bone Shatter is equipped, monsters display these indicators when their stun meter.
We'll have time to figure out.
Rolling Slam
We'll have time to
strikes twice
adjust if we
and
want.
can be redirected as you move.
Well, that is less damage. Let's do Earthquake. Don't need you, really. Well, sure, we'll just keep it in there in case, but... Okay.
Well, if I don't... Feeling lucky? Sure, I'll take it off your hands. See you.
Those...
He's a devious one.
feels
I like him.
like sacrilege to just immediately scrap quality movement speed boots that we got at the very beginning, but alas, we already were prepared. I do love the pose that any character strikes when they're going unarmed, and I've seen it before a lot more with the more strength-based characters and the monk as well, who is technically the furthest from strength you can get on the tree. But I don't know if I've ever actually seen it on a witch or sorceress before, so it's just kind of cool. I feel like we're bucking the trend in that way, so that is admittedly another reason why this idea intrigues me. But okay, let me see if there's anything else that we can throw on. I think some of these things that I intend to do... Yeah, we need a little more levels. This one in particular, these are going to be end game pieces. These are the things we're going to be waiting a long time before we can do. But there is also at least one more big piece that is currently hiding over here, and you might be able to guess what it is. It's Astramentus. That takes a little bit of time before we can use it. Level 24. Not too long, though, so hopefully We can throw that on, get a ton of strength from it, and in doing so, increase our unarmed melee damage boost quite a bit. Okay, so let's just see. Oh, right, that's still Mace Strike. I was like, the Earthquake doesn't seem very Earthquakey. There we go. Okay. Okay. So yeah, we definitely do want to seek out the bosses, any and every boss that we can. We do want to seek out. I kind of forgot about this, to be honest.
Thanks for the help. Name's found. I'm far from
Upset.
route now. Perhaps.
Okay, obviously we know his deal.
Let's investigate that.
Did we do the
remnant.
first one?
But look here.
We do. Okay, do we really need to? This is probably just a waste of time. Get that cool animation, though. Ow. Oh, you ignited me, which I did not appreciate.
See? I told you I could find tea.
Do I really need to talk to you? Also, do I really need to pick those things up?
Help seeker. Good on.
Okay. Also, we are probably doing better defensively than we would typically be doing at this point. Based in part from our much higher than usual at this stage strength, and to a certain extent even energy shield. Yeah, I am looking for the boss. This is not going to be it. That's a different boss, who I would like to pursue. I mean, sometimes I do kind of skip past that guy. Here's the one I'm looking for. Hello. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. There we go. Please go away. Theoretically, our damage just increased. I don't remember exactly what this said before, but that number should be higher than it once was. Really don't need to pick these things up, as I was saying before. Okay, we can pay closer attention in here as to the before and after. Let's see. So
The descent
it says
into darkness.
14 to 20.
I wouldn't.
This face up here should now be excuse me. Oh, do I need to hold on? Wait, this might actually. Ah, interesting. It applied as soon as I did that. I was gonna say the face wasn't yet broken. Not until I actually used that quest item. It's kind of interesting. Boop. So yeah, we should have our damage scale pretty quickly from that. I would think our damage is going to scale a lot more quickly than the enemy's power is going to scale, at least at this stage of the game. That's my anticipation, which again is a dangerous assumption to make. But, okay, I was sprinting. Have it your way. Okay, I am definitely going to skip these, because I don't think we stand to benefit all that much.
I can create better.
Is the boss? There are a lot of waypoints here. No, this is. Okay. There are also several potential entrances to the boss screen. Please don't do that. I'm curious. Oh. Okay, turns out base punching is way more effective. Okay. Good to know.
The raven always outsmarts the worm.
Alright, and now... Yep, that one immediately goes up because we didn't have a quest item that we had to use to have it register as the face being broken. The face is just immediately broken. Okay. Very nice. So yeah, I think already at this point our damage is going to be
Welcome. I fear this land's
pretty significantly outpacing
another
the
from my
power
collection. Thank
of
you.
the enemies. What is this? Occult skills you're trying to give me? No, no, no. You see, we are a one-handed mace character. Maybe we'll try Rolling Slam and just see if that can give us extra speed. Extra clear speed. I'm gonna put that on here, I think. Make this Mace Strike, make this Earthquake. I am curious what it says the DPS difference is. Oh! Yeah, no, that wasn't just my imagination. I mean, again, obviously this is just tooltip,
Good
which
girl.
is notoriously inaccurate at times, but nonetheless. Nonetheless. When it's that different, it's probably a pretty good sign. But that's not just my imagination. Okay, but yeah, if we can one-shot stuff from doing this, then that is very useful. Sure. Very useful for leveling more efficiently. Hello there. Goodbye there. Okay, now that being said, where is the exit? Also, don't tempt me with a good time. It's actually down here. It's the boss. Oh dear. It might be. I was having my doubts, but maybe those doubts were well-founded. Yeah, oops. Okay, mistakes were made. Yeah, the taking down the enemies part, that might be quick. Lid's navigating the zones. Apparently less so. I swear, if it's that little corner, I'm not going to be happy. No, okay. Here we go. Okay. I mean, we are still sprinting around, so that does obviously accelerate things. Okay, they made this zone way faster, didn't they? Or at least way more straightforward, because I thought they put the... Now, of course, I have immediately jinxed this, but, they put the waypoint much earlier, didn't they? Ooh, are we one-shotting blue packs as well? That's a pretty good sign. And definitely means we will be getting the XP, as I said, quite a bit more quickly as well. Oh, also, by the way, you know, it probably makes sense if we allocated any of our skill points. Usually, I thought it actually required you to do that to go into town at the very beginning of the game. I'm surprised that it let us do it without allocating those. Okay, so yes. As you might imagine, given how our damage scales with strength, that does mean we, at times, are going to deliberately just go with attribute nodes. Which has its, pardon the pun, strengths. Something hilarious about just punching people in the face. So, nothing fancy. Nothing fancy, just a simple little bump. It's a good old punch in the noggin.
Mushrooms.
And down they go. Okay. Oh, this is not really what I intended to go to first, but we'll pick up the waypoint, if nothing
The
else.
roots here have a mind.
Okay. There is another boss in here. There are potentially two bosses in here. The first one... Wait. Right? I'm thinking of the right... Here? Yeah. So, you definitely will count as someone whose face we can break, because you are a unique enemy. This is the first one I was thinking of when I was talking about how there are some rare enemies who always show up, at least until you defeat them. They do have their name and an icon on the map, but yet they're only rare. They are not unique. So I'm not sure if that one counts or not, but we would like to get both of them. We absolutely want to get both of them, at least at some point. Obviously, it would be very nice if we were to get them. And we're just progressing through the area for efficiency's sake, and so that we have our damage scaling as quickly as we can get it. Boop, boop, boop. Have a taste of this knuckle sandwich. But that wasn't even... Granted, I said that at the time when I was not doing a basic knuckle sandwich. That's what I should have named this character. Ah, I knew as soon as we locked something in I was going to regret it. Okay, here is... Hold on. Here is the rare enemy.
In the Grellwood.
22 to 30.
Curious.
See if that number goes up. 22 to 30. You are the one. Where'd you go? There you go. 22 to 30. Does that number increase? Please stop doing this.
You tarried too long.
It did not.
Dear sister.
Okay. So that's good to know that I would think that's an indicator that in the future, any other rare enemies, even if their name shows up on the world map, they are not going to increase facebreaker damage. And therefore, if, for example, like we thought we might have been about to do in this instance, if we think we are potentially going to get through a zone without reaching those enemies, we can probably feel okay about that. We don't have to scour
Magic swirls about
every last
but where is
inch of the area to find those enemies. This is the waypoint that I think that was pointing us toward, but yet doesn't seem to be here. Also, I absolutely deserve to be heavy stunned there, and potentially there as well. I do like how with this move, the rolly one, you can cancel out at almost any point in it, seemingly. Which makes it feel just so much more nimble. Because all in all, it is a pretty time-consuming thing to do, but... Okay, this is the waypoint.
Well, well. Who is this that
Is
adorns the
still
tree of
that
souls?
other boss, though. Oh, it's right here. Perfect. This is what I was looking for.
What a beautiful
Hello.
monstrosity.
Prepare to be punched. That works.
Knowledge grew- it's a pity
Alright,
to
that
end
should increase the damage. Yep.
monstrous weed.
Very nice. Oh, we have an endgame loot filter on. I mean, honestly, that might not matter. I should turn that off, but... I was like, that's a little strange that basically nothing showed up there.
There is a Batman you will know how to. I'll wait
Okay.
here. The old magics will protect me.
Nope, not there. Is this down there, actually? It might be in this corner. That 100% seemingly should have been a heavy stun there. Did I not just run straight into an enemy as they hit me? It's definitely in that bottom left corner, though. And we did also get this. More strength. So yeah, we get 1% more unarmed damage for every 4 strength that we get. By default, it's on Facebreakers, it's usually 5, but again, courtesy of that corruption, we got not only higher base damage at the very beginning of the having put on the gloves, we also got more damage every time we break a boss's face. We also have that more damage multiplier scaling slightly more quickly than it otherwise would. So add all those things together, and I would think... Is it still down here? I would think that that means this Facebreaker pair that we have right now, or whatever you want to call it, whether it's a singular or plural, the Facebreakers that we have should be quite a bit stronger than the standard Facebreakers, at least by the time we get at or near endgame. Perhaps even already. We are noticing it a bit. Oh, that's a lot of enemies that I did not initially see. I'm going to be honest with you. Also, I intended to do that. It's like, why is only one person getting punched? That's strange. Actually, it isn't. Yeah, so, I mean, it is very quick when we are pretty consistently one-shotting every normal enemy, some, if not most, blue packs. And the boss fights thus far have been pretty straightforward. And this is not only because of the Facebreakers, this is also because I had some other low-level gear that I picked out in advance that I knew would be quite beneficial to pair along with Facebreakers, so some of those things will become a little less significant as time goes on. But the benefit of Facebreakers, the thing that makes it really stand out in both PoE 1 and, I would think, theoretically, in PoE 2, is that it starts out with very little flat damage. That number can obviously go up, as we were talking about, by breaking those faces, but generally speaking, the way that the damage gets scaled is quite a bit different from other skills, in that it relies far less on the flat damage, or it assumes that you have far less flat damage and that you have far more of the more multipliers. So what that means is that if we can pick up additional flat damage, it's getting multiplied by those huge more multipliers, and we're getting way more value than we usually would from them. So even things that look like they're just a little, oh, it's 1 to 4 physical damage, I don't know that's that big of a deal. 6 to 9 chaos damage, nice. But that can't be that big of a deal, right? No, I mean, if that's getting hit by a very juicy more multiplier, then that is a very big deal. And one other thing that is different between PoE 1 Facebreakers, at least the way they existed when I was doing Facebreakers in PoE 1 years ago, was that, if I'm not mistaken, was specifically and exclusively unarmed physical damage. But notably, in this case, it is 1% more unarmed damage per 4 strength. It does not limit us to just physical damage. So, take these, for example. That 6 to 9 chaos damage, 6 to 10 chaos damage, that's getting the more multiplier as well. So that's why I think, particularly early on, we are benefiting far more from Facebreakers than a character usually would. Is the third already? No, second. It's not that fast. And it does also help the extra survivability we were talking about earlier. Means I'm not really even thinking about it. Just rolling straight into all the enemies. Kinda without a care in the world. Which is nice. And for what it's worth, the Facebreakers that I picked up, default Facebreakers aren't that expensive. The ones that I picked up were, given how they had all those corrupted rolls that were very favorable, was quite a bit more expensive. But if you were to go the standard Facebreaker route, then it's not like this is some crazy expensive setup that we have here. for zooming through early leveling. It's, any of this stuff? No. Really none of this stuff is expensive. It's all, again, things that you probably would, under normal circumstances, just completely overlook, but just happens to synergize really well with face breakers. Okay, now where is the last of these spots? Oh, right here. Okay.
There's the third.
One moment, sir. I would like to get slightly more physical or unarmed damage, not just physical damage, as we were saying before. So this gives us 5 strength from each of these, and that means each of these is giving us 1% more unarmed damage. And remember, more is far more significant than increased. And naturally, that's right there as well. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Punch, punch, punch. Punch the silly boss. Stun the silly boss, and then we punch him again. Okay, he's dead.
Very loud and very dull.
We definitely don't want new gloves. I can tell you that much. We could just vent them, but again, these, realistically, we probably shouldn't even be picking anything up.
Spirits in a trail. You feeling
Like
lucky?
what? Okay. That actually we would like to take a look at. Sure. Why not?
Sure. I'll take it off your hands. Bye then.
Then we need
Now this
you.
Curious spikes, but be cautious. They stayed warm after forging, no matter how
Huh?
many times I would ask.
Oh, I was gonna say, I didn't remember that quest item looking like that. Something seems off. Okay, that also obviously was another boss that we just broke the face of, and thus theoretically our damage should have just gone up. We go here first.
Good. Now the others.
Do as I command. Release this shade to my service.
He's unconscious.
Okay. We actually need to meet her at Clearfell? We don't, do we? We just go here. Okay, so this is another technically optional boss. Or do we? We might. Okay, I take it back. I thought we didn't. But in that upcoming zone, there will be another boss who is technically avoidable / optional.
Please, take your tie.
Oh, you know... Sure. Some support gems on there. We do this for you? Or does that not work? That might not work. Let's just do... There... Yeah. Do rapid attacks. I don't know if that works for you. It has that +1 second base time. Not 100% sure how that interacts. Oh, rage would be also useful for many of these things. Let's... well, that actually would be quite... Yeah, you know what? Put it on that. Yeah, prioritize. Basic. Technically, it says Mace Strike, but I think we all know that that's really just a punch. What, we need a shield for shield charge? Ridiculous. Unbelievable. How dare you even suggest such a thing? But that is actually one difference between, again, at least unarmed builds when I was doing them in PoE 1. Maybe it's changed in the years since. But it used to be that in PoE 1, you couldn't equip a weapon if you wanted to be unarmed, but you were allowed to have a shield. So you could, and in fact, in many cases, I was, a shield charging facebreaker build. But unfortunately, you cannot do that in PoE 2. In PoE 2, you cannot have either a weapon or a shield. So I suppose we could drop the occasional shockwave totem. Okay. And now we go here. So yeah, as I was saying, there's going to be a boss who is avoidable / technically optional in here, depending on your pathing. That may or may not feel like the case, but given that we benefit greatly from breaking faces, we definitely will look to do so here. So, if we happen to miss him, we should try to make a point of circling back to get him. This area does have a lot of chaos damage, which could still be painful, as they've, to a certain extent, already demonstrated. Sort of tried to change the direction of the roll, mid-roll. Not really sure that I can do that. I think it just cancels the roll altogether if I do. Yeah, that hurts. So does that. Oh, here you are. Didn't even realize we were here. Just waltzed right into this fight accidentally, to be honest with you. Please don't teleport across the arena. I don't like it when you do that. I also probably shouldn't stand on those. Punch him. There we go. Level while we're at it as well.
Or some such nonsense.
Yep, damage is continuing to go up. That's good stuff. Now, let us proceed. Ow. Ow. Is that a support gem, or is that just a basic gem? Oh, one moment while I punch my way out of this situation. Yeah, I feel like I didn't end up going the correct way. Bold statement, Lids, when you walked into what was clearly a dead end. Look,
Another of those inscriptions.
I did not remember that this is thing here gets introduced to it. Oh, right. Oh, I thought this was a summoning circle, like in maps. Like, that's strange. This happens this early on. No, this is different. I kind of forgot that we have to do these. Not really looking forward to that.
How
Illuminate the enemy. We keep up the search.
And don't bother doing that, Lids. Really not necessary. This is the way out. Okay. And there are, depending on how you divide up this area, you could argue there are 3 bosses in here.
Take orders from you, but I do love cemeteries.
I don't bother with the strong box either. That's not likely to be worth it. There's a spot here where you can get a guaranteed ring drop, but very unlikely that it would outdo the rings that we have right now. Although, to be fair, some of the benefits of the gear that we put on was that it was available from level 1. And that is obviously, in some cases, a hard thing to do, is get stuff that actually makes sense at that stage. So now that we have gained a few levels,
Where are you hiding?
we might be able to more easily pick things up just from random drops. There actually is at least one piece of gear that we have in our stash that we do now have a high enough level to use. It is just a helmet that gives us a lot of strength, or at least the potential to get a lot of strength. It has some on it by default. Unfortunately, it actually did not have a very high base roll. Or, Lids, what's the difference between a base roll and a non-base roll? Nothing. I phrased that horribly. It did not roll well. That is the way that one would normally describe that. It does give all attributes, but each attribute is rolled individually, and unfortunately the strength roll happened to be low, and that was the roll that we cared about the most. But yeah, this is good context for our damage right now. I don't want to just ignore this. There we go. Take that.
Give it a rest.
We definitely don't want that.
Empire is no more.
Yeah, so it doesn't have quite as much strength as we would like it to have had, but it does have four rune sockets by default. And it's a helmet, so that is usually not something you're gonna see. So that means you can obviously put a whole bunch of, excuse me, pots and pans. And put a whole bunch of strength-based runes in. Oh yeah, you're the red. Oh, this is the place where you get the guaranteed.
My dearest
Oops.
daughter.
Also, guaranteed ring that I was referring to, and naturally it is one that does not even break the loot filter, which, as I said, we still have not changed. But maybe that's fine. Maybe that's a good reminder that we really shouldn't care much at all about loot. Okay, so should actually think about, now that we're getting out of the main starting area, what direction we want to go first. I think we probably, like, if we go up, we're going to be headed toward, obviously, plenty of strength just from pathing. But jewel sockets is the main thing, and pain attunement. We obviously, I haven't picked up specific jewels for this character yet, so I don't think we benefit all that much from prioritizing you early. And it's going to be a little while before we're ready to go pain attunement. So I think rather than going that direction, we're going to more likely start heading in this direction, which will eventually give us crit nodes, but also Hollow Palm. So I'm thinking we probably just rush Hollow Palm, because it isn't until we get this that we at least have some reasonable ability to go crit, and even then it's gonna be quite a while before we can do it, because unlike other characters where you can throw on a weapon with a high base crit chance and you immediately have the means to scale crit, in this case we are not getting our base crit chance from our weapon. Instead, we're getting it from our armor, and that is going to take a lot longer to scale. Okay, so let's see. It was, yeah, here, and then we'll end up going this way. So again, even just those little strength clusters, technically we just gained 2% more melee unarmed damage. Which may not sound like much. Oh, it's only 2%. There's just 2 travel nodes. Let's not lose sight of that. What we can lose sight of, however, is where the next area entrance is. I think it's actually going to be over here. Pardon me. Ow. Hold on. One moment while I punch you. Thank you.
Take you.
I think it's going to be over here. Indeed. Okay. So, let's go find a new boss to punch in the face. Ow. How dare you ignite me? I take this personally. You actually made me use a life flask. How dare you? I only hit you with one of those rolling maneuvers, and thus it was not enough to take you down. Took far too many hits. Was a rare, but still. Speaking of which, excuse me, sir. Man, there's nothing but rares in here. Ow. Look at all these. All these dude. There's 3 rares right now. Not to mention all the other ones that we got at least one already. There we go. I mostly did it because I was assuming that the experience would add up to be pretty decent there. There's also this strong box, so I know we were saying no to strong boxes earlier. But this one's shiny and yellow. And it made our character glow for a second when we were standing next to it. Okay, so I don't know that we really benefit all that much from these guys at the moment, to be honest. I think pure strength for now. We will eventually find ourselves going into those clusters, but it's just not terribly efficient at this stage, I don't think. Is the right way? No, it absolutely is not. I was going to say, this feels an awful lot like a circle. That's because it is. And that's a dead end. Pardon me. That's also a dead end. So what have we learned about this build so far? We've learned the build can do a lot of damage even in the early stages of leveling. We've also learned that Leeds is horrible when it comes to pathing through these zones. Right on cue. And for good measure, sure, let's get heavy stunned by that guy. This also a dead end? No, okay. This is the boss arena. Okay. Took our sweet time to get here. Oh, I just remembered. We can do this too. No, I'd rather not. Oh, I'm sorry. Oop. Okay, do we have a chest plate right now? I don't think we do. We haven't really needed one yet. Okay, so obviously this next boss is a little bit bigger, a bit stronger, but we have, as I was saying before, we've gotten stronger ourselves, given the additional faces that we have broken over the course of this zone. Like, having 42 to 55 damage at this stage in the game, base damage on our weapon, not to mention the more multipliers, is, it's pretty good. I would think that is likely why, thus far, things have been fairly zoomy. I'm just gonna
Finn makes fun
dump
my
some of these
collection.
things, or maybe
I think.
get a little more value out of you.
Hello.
Then dump, and more importantly, I want to just pick up you. This is what I was referring to before. So yeah, the 31 strength, unfortunately, it's basically at the bottom end of the range. This is just one that happened to drop. I didn't go out and purchase this with the intention of using it for this character. It does reduce attributes by 1 per level. So technically, this is intended to be a low-level, short-term, quick burst of attributes, and then longer term, it eventually will be outshined by other things. But at least for now, we can use it for a pretty sizable strength boost, I would think. Okay. So, oh, hold on. Saw that level requirement for a second there. Okay, so that, ooh. Okay. I mean, we can still just do this if we want to. And it will give us 31 minus 9 strength, which is still decent, again, especially at this level. And it does have some armor and evasion, not a tremendous amount. Has some of the other attributes as well. But I mean, sure, we could throw these in. I guess, why not? Haven't really been making a point of picking up the little strength runes, but does mean that we have a little more defenses and we have more damage now as well. Okay, so waypoint over this direction. More strong boxes. That one was a heavy stun. I was gonna say, there were some times when I absolutely was deserving of getting a heavy stun, and yet it did not happen. That did not feel like one of them, though. Yeah, that number remains the same, but we should have a much higher melee unarmed damage multiplier, because we're already over 120 strength as a level 9 character. Okay, so let's see how much we can beat this guy up.
I must make them pay. I must make them
1, 2, drop this. Go, oops, I think I pressed the wrong button. I also am tempted to just completely face tank him and not be concerned at all about the damage he can do. And maybe that's justified. Maybe that is justified.
Your dreary little tale is over, old man.
Okay, so we, of course, gained a little more damage from taking him out. Then, okay. Just thinking about how this is another area where... So this is a rare, air quotes, boss, mini-boss, really, that we've pretty much established is not going to give us additional damage. Maybe we try it out just to double-check that. The Crowbell absolutely will. Ritual Altar will not. Oh, well, they didn't have a map icon for that before, did they? They've added that, which is actually kind of nice. Again, not something I really look forward to having to seek out, but at least it's a little more transparent where those things are now. Excuse me, please don't push me away as I'm trying to casually roll and slam all these dudes. What is the name of this ability actually called? Is it Rolling Slam? It is Rolling Slam. Okay. Oh, you're a poop. Yahoo D. Now you die. I wasn't really intending to go to Ogum Village immediately, but alas, now we're here, and I guess we will. At least get the waypoint, potentially. Checkpoint to Poke my head in here.
I'm picking up another runestone nearby.
4 runestones. Dude, just chill. Okay, again, we're just doing that to get the waypoint over here. Okay. So if that was in this corner, then one would assume... Oh, yeah. Is this the crow bell right here? Oh, no, it's this. Okay, so this is the one that I do not think will give us damage. 46 to 60. Let's see if that number goes up. Don't think it will.
Another corpse to serve me.
Yeah, it did. Okay. So we've checked once, and we've now checked twice. I think that's pretty definitive. Oh, yes. Great, I would say.
Something had a little too much fun with this.
Wraithorn over here? Yes, okay. Now this one... While we're at it, this is another place where technically this boss is
Time to seek it out.
optional / we could do it whenever, but we probably should do it soon. I'm just picking it up now while we're in the area. We'll circle back once we've taken down Crowbell. I would like to finish everything in this zone. Everything that we want to do in this zone first. Here's the Crowbell Arena, at least the Ultimate Arena. The original spot, though, is over here.
You've been
Hello,
a
Mr.
bad
Crowbell.
bird, haven't you?
Prepare to be punched. Just throw that up as well. Excuse me, sir. You are noticeably being punched less. Well, that is perhaps in part because you are a multi-phase boss, and you do not take kindly
Yes.
to us trying to do everything here. Oh, and also was I no, I was using the rolling attack. That's why. I wasn't using the standard punch. How silly of me. But you still hit me there. I didn't even realize you could hit me in that situation. And also, yes, you can still deal damage when Crowbell is doing all this stuff. He has huge damage reduction, but we actually did get a somewhat significant amount there. I'm surprised. Meant there's almost nothing we had to do by the time we got here. Okay. This. And just quickly cross-reference, see if there's anywhere we want to actually go into the clusters, but all this stuff is crit. Again, although we are interested in doing that eventually, initially, just going all in on the strength, which does also mean we are continuing to scale our health very quickly as well, which is nice. Okay, is there anything else we want to do here? There's the room. I mean, I don't want to do that, as I was saying before. Oh, also there's this.
Go on then.
It's the dude right here. I thought that was the dude for a second. And by the dude, I mean the rare enemy who was about to be possessed.
Stay on it.
Conveniently, that was, at least for a moment, headed in the same direction we were intending to go. Can you please just possess this guy? Can we make this guy the dude?
Another corpse to serve me.
I just want the runes to be done. Here they are. Okay. Then, yes, there's the ritual encounter in here, but that doesn't really do anything. Is that the rare? You're the rare. You may have been the person who was intended to be the Duke, but alas, you are no more, and thus you can no longer be the Duke. You are ineligible. Oh, do we have to... Okay, hold on. I'm gonna say, it'd be a pain if we clicked on all these runes and then didn't summon this guy, and that was the reason why it would say, you know, however long later, oh, you never completed this part.
Another on the bright side.
Okay, now I think we can go to Greatthorn. Do we have it? Oh yeah, that's a checkpoint right there. That would be helpful. So yeah, again, there are definitely times where I've just skipped Freythorn at this stage and gone back to it a while later. It does give you the spirit stuff, the first round of spirit, and also a low-level spirit gem. So obviously there is something to be said for getting that. There is a benefit to doing that. But just always find this zone is kind of a pain to navigate. Also, and you have to do all the rituals, which obviously takes a little bit of extra time as well.
Don't whisper at me.
Try to use these to inform where we go now. Excuse me, sir. Theoretically, it was pointing in this general direction, was it not? Ah, okay, this one. Yes. Okay, this one was way out there. Or maybe I'm used to this zone generally going down. There may actually be a little bit of a different layout in which it primarily goes to the right. That may be where the final boss is, actually. Yeah, that's... In addition to the spirit, the fact that there is, again, another boss whose face we can break. That is the main reason why we are making sure to do this more or less as soon as we can. Okay, so then the last one is over in that direction. I can't help but feel... Oh, we should have picked up that checkpoint there. I'll say, I feel like this is probably... Excuse me. Probably still faster to approach from this angle, but... And better still, we had picked up this waypoint. Do you think we can use blacksmith whetstones on our weapon? Can we sharpen our fists? No, as we were actually talking about last week when we were doing a little bit of prep for this character, there's... Whoa, hold on, I might need to look up exactly what the line is in the wiki. There's a pretty incredible description that does somewhat speak to how unique of a situation it is for facebreakers. Wait, hold on. Here. I have a whole bunch of tabs somewhere here of the PoE2 wiki. Here. Let's see. Facebreakers. Modifiers specific to maces and one-handed weapons will not apply while using Facebreaker, though bonuses to mace skills will. Boss's face broken. Wait, where is it? Or is it unarmed? Is it Facebreakers or is it unarmed? It might be on unarmed. You are considered to be unarmed while you don't have any weapon equipped. Having an offhand item and no weapon equipped counts as being unarmed. Oh, that would suggest that usually you could have a shield or a scepter in your offhand and still count as being unarmed, although I think Facebreakers specifically says you must have nothing in your weapon slot and nothing in your shield spot, but that's an aside. The main thing is that You are considered to be unarmed while you don't have any weapon equipped. Having an offhand item and no weapon equipped counts as being unarmed. Having both weapon slots empty does not count as dual wielding. Dual wielding your fists is not a thing. Which, I don't know, this stance that we are in right now, I beg to differ, especially when we have the rage going and our character is glowing red. I would like to refute this claim. I believe that we are, in fact, dual wielding. Oh, is this the... Are we already at the final one? I mean, this is the final one, but do we have another one that we have to do in addition to that? Yeah, we do, don't we?
Ah, so this is where the darkness is hiding.
Wait, what? Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, wait, don't point me in the direction where I was just going. Which you seem to be doing. Huh? Oh, do we have to summon him first? Is that why? Maybe we could have initiated
Please.
the final encounter already. I don't know. I'm losing track of how many we have and have not done. Will you let me do this? You will not let me do this yet. Okay. Please stop that. It's just that that kind of seemed to be pointing in the same direction. I guess not quite. It's slightly further off to the right here. It's like right there. No, not quite. Excuse me. Prepare to be punched. That would also have been a great name for this character. Where is this? What the heck? I feel like I'm being lied to. Where is this last one? Do not deceive me. Stop telling me to go in the direction I've already gone. Search for rituals and cleanse them. I'm getting some mixed messages as to where this last one is. Maybe we just ignore all the hints. Just explore this area from top to bottom. Maybe it's in one of those effigies. I hope not. I did not know that those guys apply bleed. I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't really care about that. Okay, I really appreciate if you didn't make everyone unkillable. Right as I'm trying to, you guessed it, kill them. And for this, I must punch you in the face. And apparently level up. So I guess that's our consolation prize. Right, we're still going here. Actually, yeah, we have to go here in order to go down this way. And if it looks like it's... Oh, no, that's not even a slight detour. That's still purely in line with where we're trying to go. Okay, yep. That makes sense. Excuse me, sir. And all madame. Would you mind showing me where the last ritual is located? Excuse me. Now you're pointing in this direction. Okay, well apparently it is over here. If you had told me that from the onset, I feel like we wouldn't have been in this situation. There it is. Imagine that. Okay. Now we do this. We have greater yet? We might not. One of the potential downsides of unarmed builds is that the area of effect you have is lower than what you would usually have. That is actually one of the other stats you can get on Facebreakers, is that it does exist by default. It increases your range by a small amount, but we actually, again, we made a point of picking up a corruption that it gave us slightly more than usual. Yeah, I kind of just decided to try facing that, even though that's supposed to be a one-shot mechanic. Excuse me. Oh, right. There's a reason why I can't damage you anymore. You done? Stop moving or you'll be imprisoned. Also, just punching him will apparently stop him from doing that.
Darkness is mine.
Go, that's the spirit.
Never forget that.
Stuff that we don't really need. Okay. And with this, we will actually, once we ascend and start taking what might be either the first or the second priority for the, well, actually that's still through 2 or 3 ascendancy trials in, we can sacrifice life in order to get more spirit. So we long term should have much more spirit than usual. I have not yet given much thought to exactly what we will plan to do with that spirit. There's at least one somewhat minor thing we'd like to do, and some of the spirit ongoing effect support gems that increase the spirit cost, we will definitely want some of those. So actually that might... well, we can't do any of those, come to think of it. So we're going to use up all of our spirit right here. But I'm thinking that Herald of Ash makes a lot of sense. At least for the moment. Remind me what the deal is with this, though. Fury builds from attacking enemies using the skill, releases your fury, and you're into a bestial frenzy, gaining damage and onslaught, but constantly losing life. Oh, it's like Blood Rage. Sort of. Forcing you into an animal form. Oh. Frenzy ends immediately if you return to human form. Cannot gain fury while in a frenzy. Okay, so it may also require shape-shifting stuff that we are not really planning on doing. Slash is impossible with Facebreaker stuff because we would need a talisman. Okay, so yeah, let's do this. And... boom. Okay. Well, that should help. That should give us more damage, especially when we're doing serious overkill, which may be the case. Certainly, at least with the basic enemies. Okay, so...
I have a little... See, well, you
can't remember if you actually give us anything for this. Oh, you do.
take a punt. You know you want to. Deal.
Yeah.
I'll take it off your hands.
Let's see. Again, looking at going here. Let's upgrade you. Let's upgrade you. The other thing by going Hollow Palm early is that we will gain access to... Okay, I really don't need to do that. We will gain access to quarterstaff skills, which may or may not be of interest, depending on how well things are going with the mace stuff. Okay, so let's see. Should be done with that area. That area, yep. The faces have been broken, confirmed. This is another one that's a rare enemy, not a unique, and therefore we don't really need to make a point of doing that. The hut, though, would give us the extra passive points, which would be nice. And unfortunately, there's more of those runes. I think the Herald of Ash is going to help. My first impression, that seems to be doing exactly what we want it to do. Ooh, there's an icon for the runes. Okay, I would very much like to get those. Here's the hut. Just, oh, if I could do anything other than dash straight into it. That.
Ah, the girl's loot. But dear me, what a desperately boring home.
Honestly, one of the better things about the Herald of Ash, not just the damage, but also the extra area of effect that it gives us. As I was saying before, it's even with the bonus that we were getting earlier. Or we got as soon as we put on face breakers, but we were talking about earlier. It's still not great. Obviously, we don't have any area of effect scaling at this point, so not as if we have that much going for us in that regard. Excuse me, sir. Can I punch you through the fence? I can punch you through the fence. However, I will still go around to punch you more thoroughly. So I think that means we've basically done all the stuff we really want to do here. I may or may not have been getting walloped by those guys as I was trying to read the quest descriptions to see if I'm getting anything obvious. Alternatively, right, that's still showing up because we haven't turned it in yet. This is where the optional boss is, but again, really don't need to bother, so I kind of just won't. It doesn't apply for facebreaker damage. Technically, sir, you don't have a face, and therefore I'm not interested. Because it thus cannot be broken in any sort of meaningful way. Oh, excuse me. What? Oh, it's probably just right here. Yup. Okay, and now we're going... Yeah, Hollow Palm's over there. So, I was talking about how we would like to prioritize getting Hollow Palm early. However, reminder that even with that being said, outside of the whole we gain access to quarterstaff skills, which may or may not be all that meaningful in the short term, more of a long-term thing, but I just figured we might as well pick it up along with all the strength to get there as one of our first things, so that it at least becomes possible for us to start doing crit-based stuff. Yes, technically it is possible right now, as I was saying, but 5% base crit is not an easy place to work from. I don't really think we needed the low-level essence. So here, obviously, there is a boss. It is not optional, so we will definitely be fighting it. We will definitely be facing its break. No, that's... Wrong way! Other way around, Lids. But that also would have been a clever name. Oh, no. Every time, man. Every time. As soon as you make the character, you're like, I don't know what a good name for it would be. Even though I did put some thought into it in advance this time, but again, it just felt like anything that I was thinking about would potentially be misinterpretable in some potentially problematic ways. But as soon as we actually lock something in that was kind of boring, immediately start thinking about all this other good stuff that I would have much rather have made be our name. I am trying to get that side quest, though, which I thought was going to be over there. Perhaps not. I mean, the good thing is that with our clear speed, we are getting a fair number of kills pretty quickly, so the XP is increasing at a decent clip. Especially when we get blue packs. But once again, the main bottleneck is not the build's clear speed, it's Lid's ability to navigate the zone. It's definitely not going to be this close to the entryway, although we can punch this guy in the face as well.
Death, take you.
I don't know what hints, if any, what contextual clues, the game gives us for this spot, other than just that it is, I think of it usually as being in a corner. So that's, I thought I was headed toward the correct corner, but maybe not. In fact, maybe it was over here all along, and we actually got quite close. Tons of these essences. Is this it? Yes. Still don't have a chest plate, which is not strictly necessary, but theoretically could be helpful. Wait, is that the... Hold on. Is that what I was thinking of? Blacksmith's chest. Executioner. Yeah, okay. Wait, is that... Oh! It's kind of interesting. I have not seen this very often, combining Essence and the Remnant stuff. Almost didn't realize at first. Combining with other stuff, yeah. Much more frequently, but for whatever reason, Essence, I don't see as often. Oops. That's no good. Thought we were getting close in a different direction. Probably over here. Yep. Generally not great timing for that, but that's okay. I think we'll be alright.
Don't do this. Stop. Just wait. Surely.
Plan is simple.
You should have been burned at the stake, witch.
Great will take you, bastard!
Punch.
My would-be executioner.
Oh, admittedly, I once again was pressing the wrong button. I was not properly punching him, which is why that was going much more slowly than it ought to have gone. Please proceed to be punched. Thank you. Now I'll get rid of all your friends.
Who is the true master of death?
Although, honestly, we might have just... Might have been better to have just gone this route and have the area of effect damage from all the Herald of Ash explosions be the main thing to take him out. Pull the lever. Roll the lever.
The manner.
Let's get here. More strength, more damage. one of you is a rare. One that we didn't get, of course.
Death is my power to wield.
It might be... Oh, did I get heavy stun there? I think I did. Yeah, I clobbered. I was about to say, it might be approaching time to actually pick up a chest plate of some variety. Or maybe not just mindlessly dash straight into all the enemies. There are some tanky guys here. But then again, why not? Yeah, we are seeing some of those, even just common enemies, the white mobs, we are not one-shotting them, and that's not a sign I like to see.
You should have served me.
Where are we? We're 14. Last Fermentus isn't until we get up into the 20s, if I remember correctly, so we are still a little ways from that. It obviously will give us a ton of strength, and therefore quite a bit of damage scaling from base breakers. Kind of changed where this spot is relative to the rest of the zone recently, didn't they? Used to be a little bit more off to the side. Now it's more sort of on the main path. I guess it's a good thing. It just takes a little bit more conscious thought. Remind myself of that. Yeah, these guys, the gargoyles, are always super tanky, right? Resistance. Oh, that doesn't really matter all that much at the moment, but in the future, will be the kind of thing that'll be a little bit more of a pain point. Okay. As I said, jewel socket, we don't... I'm sure we have some jewels back in town we could throw in, just nothing that I've specifically picked up thus far with this build in mind, so... Eventually, we will be able to make greater use of that. It is just on the way to Hollow Palm for the time being. I mean, if we really wanted to, of course, we could head back now to check some of those things out.
You found the... It doesn't...
Let's do gain some new things. Oh, Perfect Strike. Which, if we get the timing right, we get a pretty huge boost to our damage. But I don't have much practice with it. We could still go for it. Molten Blast is the one that I used in the past, in general, when we were using other characters who, at least at endgame, threw on a mace and were looking for mace-based skills. So I'm a little more familiar with that, although it's still been a while. Don't think Resonating Shield is going to work for us, so sure. We'll try this. Otherwise, yeah, we would probably level up one of our existing ones. In fact, do we have anything? No, we don't have anything else of that level, but we do have support gems. Ooh, we were talking about extra area of effect before. That would be helpful. As for more pure damage stuff, we put stuff for Mace Strike. Ooh, that could help. I'm less certain about that part. Okay. What else? Speed-based stuff. We could do half tempted to do ambush, which gives crit based on enemies being on full life, so at least the first hit would benefit from it, but that's maybe still a little preemptive at this stage. Rapid attacks again. Oh, rage. If we're looking for something on perfect strike, it's more of a hit once, hit hard type of situation. Maybe it is still this. It's another one that has that flat added duration to the skill. Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, it doesn't even. Does it apply? I'm not even sure if it does, to be honest with you. It does. Okay. Theoretically, at least. Oh, right. I almost forgot to give the loot. And we get this. You don't give us one of the strength ones. How dare you? Yeah, the cold res. Yes, obviously we're about to go into a fight where that's going to be relevant, so probably go that route.
This sea.
Yes.
Huzzah, he's back. Fantastic. Yeah, no, I'm just interested in
You
you
found- I
identifying items for us. And then doing
I guess
this.
now she'll start playing songs. Best get
Hoping
out
for
here
movement
soon.
speed. I did not find movement speed.
Finn makes fun of my collection, but I think it's charming.
Yeah, we still don't have a chest plate, so we could throw this on, but we'll be fine. Who needs? Cold. Oh, wait. Where is that coming from? Where is the cold res? Huh? Oh, there's some from this. Wait, what else has it? This? No. This isn't active right now. Wait, what? I'm just glossing. Oh, this has. Well, we just put that in. Okay, that's why. That's why. Lids, you just put that in a matter of seconds ago. Look. It's been a long day, okay? Alright, so with these we can... Oh, look at this. We are ever so close, but not quite at Hollow Palm. Okay. But was there anything else? Anything else we'd benefit from here? Just double check here. You do have some strength, but... Astramentis is still, it's 24. Okay, we're actually a little bit closer than I thought. I thought it was 28 for some reason. We're not quite there yet. Do still have a little ways to go. Like, not gonna lie, I glanced at the mini-map and I saw a face here that was not broken, and I was about to say, hold on a second, isn't that our whole deal? What's up with this? No, this we've established. That one's okay. That one's all right. But there's Melt Wax, who should count. We would definitely like to fight that dude, and that'll make us a little bit stronger before we go into the main boss fight. That's timing is good there. get another level at some point, that would also be helpful. That would get us up to Holopong. Ow. Yeah, the damage is definitely starting to become more noticeable. It may be that it's just we had a bunch of starting strength from all the strength-based gear we put on at the beginning, and that was an inordinate amount. That's a bad place to stand. It was an unusually high amount at the beginning of the game, but we're getting to the point where that's not, it doesn't stand out quite as much as it once did. Also, just in general, these guys tend to hit pretty hard in this area. Is Meltwax before the little preview?
He's even more
For some reason I thought he was. Maybe not. It seemed not. I don't know why I'm clicking all those. Those are not likely to be meaningful. That's the way down, but as we've established, we have some unfinished business to attend to.
First ones.
Right here.
Delightfully sacrilegious creature.
Please don't do that. Please instead get punched. Thank you. Admittedly, I knew that he was doing that and said to myself, we'll be fine. We don't care about that, right? We very nearly did.
I simply must have my
So,
own
a little
way
bit of
of
hubris
something.
on my part. But there we get a little more life. So that is nice. And we get another base broken. So already in the mid to approaching upper double-digit base damage numbers for, again, at the end of Act 1. I think that's quite solid. And with that strength, getting, what is it, 41% more unarmed melee damage at this point? Oh, that is a wall, as it turns out. That is also a wall. Doing a great job of finding those. Oh no, you're already dead. That's also a wall. It's nothing but walls. I'll take out my anger on you. Okay, there we go. That's a little more like it. Oh, those are enemies that are just walking straight into. I knew that. Again, don't go out of your way to pick up the chest. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Also a wall. Okay. Should be fast approaching the boss now. If I didn't go that way. There we go. I feel like the game just kind of froze up for a second there when we leveled. One moment while I think about that. Yes, I suppose. I suppose I'll let you do it. Okay, so here we go. This is the aforementioned hollow palm. Nothing but walls. Nothing but walls here. Don't worry. So here's hollow palm. Can attack as though using a quarterstaff while both your hand slots are empty. Again, much like Facebreakers, this is saying not even allowed to use a shield. Unarmed attacks that would use equipped quarterstaff damage instead of base damage, base unarmed physical damage replaced with damage based on their skill level. That's a bit of a mouthful, but it is actually, if the PoE 2 wiki is to be believed, completely irrelevant because that is overridden by the base damage calculations for Facebreakers, which are obviously based on how many faces we've broken. So we can ignore that first part, but it's the second part we likely will not be scaling much at all either. It's really that third bullet point of 0.1% to base critical hit chance per 10 item energy shield on equipped armor items. So the more energy shield we have on our items, that means this does not get affected by the increased energy shield, say, from this cluster over here that we were passing by. Only the raw numbers on your gear directly. It gives you additional base critical hit chance, which just makes it so much easier for us to scale our crits. The thing is, obviously, higher level gear is going to have more base energy shield on it, and therefore, at this stage, especially when we do not yet have a chest plate, we don't have much in the way of energy shield. We have a tiny bit there. Maybe this wouldn't be a bad time for us to throw on a chest plate. Perhaps one of the energy shield variety. No, actually it gives us a movement speed penalty, and therefore it is suboptimal for us to do it. That is obviously the reason why I've been going that way. I mean, I guess sort of. Technically that is a thing. And for us optimized speedrunners, that is something that we are always mindful of. And obviously, from what you've seen thus far today, I'm nothing but the most optimal of speedrunners. He says as he stops to fight all those unnecessary enemies. I was about to say, yeah, what is... I don't recognize this spot. The answer is that it would normally be a place with what, at low levels, seems to be a lot of gold. It's just that, at present, it is not making it past our loot filter, so it just looked like a completely dead end. This is the exit. So yeah, if we really wanted to put on a chest plate, which obviously at this point, at least for the boss fight where movement doesn't really matter at all, that's not a fair statement. Movement speed is a little bit less. You know, I'm not even going to say that. Because movement is important to avoid the boss's attacks. But perhaps getting more defenses and cold res, in particular, would be meaningful in this instance. Sure. Maybe we can just take one of the walls and use that as our chest plate, right? Let's try it without a chest plate. If we could pull it off, that'd be nice, but it probably will require more skill to make it happen, which, you know, I might be a bit lacking in that department, so. We shall see.
This interloper has the power we need. Kill her, and you shall have everything I promised.
No noose this time. I'll remove your head myself.
Not if I take yours first.
Please get closer to the shockwave totem.
Pay with your life.
I did not appreciate how you kept on going out. Oh, and then it's the totem that stuns you. Well, actually, I think the totem might have increased stun capabilities, so that might not be good.
Open the cage.
There we
Release
go.
the beast. Give me what you promised.
Phase 1 went very quickly
Think not.
when you actually stood where I wanted you to stand. But I think the question is not so much our damage in this instance, it is more so his damage and our lack of defenses.
How dare you abandon me after all I've given you?
Okay, you done with your monologue yet? There we go. For some reason, I thought you went straight into a slam. Well, you're gonna go straight into this, which is unfortunate. What if I stun you out of this? You don't take stun! Oh, we were so close to it, though. This frustrates me.
I'm now the Impaler. As swift as death,
Ow.
and imbued by the moon. Cursed or gifted. Branded
Also an ow.
conflicted. Your veins
Yeah, I just basically occupied all those times when we walked past, didn't I?
freezing gale.
So that probably one-shots us, just to be honest with
Solstice of pain.
you. Ow. Ow.
Take out your heart and savor each battle.
Oh, thank you for stunning him. One moment while I punch him.
Freezing gale.
Ooh, that was close.
I smell your blood. And I am ravenous.
It is nice being able to put the totem there to get some value when we're kind of focusing on running away. Oopsie daisy. That was not great. Punch him a little bit before he runs away. Yeah, if he just stood still, that would make it a lot easier. Unsurprisingly.
Bloodlust empowered. Our Esme endured. But soon all
Totem's actually doing pretty good work here.
in unending war. Death waited at the door. Then hour by hour, men fell as summer soured.
But now he does the nasty one that I walked straight into. Ooh, that was in a bad spot for that.
Chilling frost. Ice.
Excuse me, sir, please don't use those attacks when you're in the middle of getting stunned. There we go. Okay, who needs chest plates anyway, right? This is our chest plate right here, the wall.
Allow me to clear your mind.
Also, the position he was in when we took him out made me wonder if he was going to fall out the bounds of the arena and cause technical issues,
My being,
potentially soft locking us.
Oriana.
We appear to have avoided that, although it might
It's
still be
against-
too soon to say definitively.
Where has she taken the beast? I found messages from the desert. From the Vastiri.
From
Yes. Find her. Kill her. But first, please, stop the madness. As you wish.
Okay.
We must make haste. Let us return to Clearfell to make our prep.
Dope.
I like to hold on to bits and pieces. I will treasure it.
Yes, could have gotten that. Now we can actually ID them. Oh, Lids, you left some gold on the table because
This
we
girl
would have
we
gotten a
can
little bit
find
more if you had ID'd
friendlies
first. Look,
for
if I
our
had
price.
remembered that we could have done that first, then yeah, that would have been
Anything
kind of
take
nice,
your
but
fancy?
ultimately that probably is just statistically insignificant. Instant recovery, though, is nice. We'll take that. Oh, also,
Deal.
get rid of this.
If you
Look,
find a
we're talking about
don't
8
forget-
gold. I think we'll be alright. Stay clear of the walls. Thank you, thank you. Alright, well, I suppose, what with us having defeated the Act 1 boss, we'll do this, just carry on to the start of Act 2 here. But I think this is probably a pretty good stopping point for us.
Every attempt to control it has
Excuse me.
ended in
There we go. Now maybe we'll go and take out this Wrathbreaker hyena boss dude, just so we get actual access to the Act 2 town.
The Marrakech. Strong-minded women aplenty. I approve.
And that would be another face broken, of course. Oh, hold on. Excuse me, sir. Please stand still. Making improvements. That is not where I wanted to stand. I thought that I was going to be quicker with the rolling slam. Ooh, one moment, please. I feel the particular urge to punch this individual.
Death, take you.
See, we may have been saying how we wanted to stay clear of the walls, but on the other hand, the area we're trying to go to is a walled off, or is it a break in the wall? So for that reason, it actually does make sense for us to follow the walls, dare I say. It is also how some of these guys spawn in. This is not the boss entryway. Must be around here somewhere. There is also a bonus area of sorts that just has more loot in it. It's not of, and this is it. Not of critical importance, but over here it does give us an additional support gem. Usually I thought the boss arena was not especially close to that. It does make me feel as though we might have passed it earlier. This rare looks kind of nasty. Which is why we shall stun him. Oh, he was enraged. Now it all makes sense. Ooh. Don't wear those. Excuse me, sir.
Death is my power to wield.
Oh, this actually is the entryway. Okay. Once again, we're doing a great job of getting to the boss on not quite our next level, but actually these guys might be enough to get us there. There you go. One moment while I power up real quick. Excuse me, Mr. Boss. I would like additional time. What's up, Sultan? How are you? Just woke up. How's it going? Well, about that, we are probably about to wrap up because it is getting quite late on my end. It is a work night, so I can't go too much longer. But we started a new character today, and it has been pretty smooth sailing thus far. Of course, I've now jinxed it. I did knock on wood, but I almost certainly have just cursed us to experience a pitiful slash egregious slash brutal demise, whatever other adjectives you want to describe here, as we are, of course, going into this boss fight. Oh, also, I looked at this and then didn't actually spend a passive point. In part, perhaps because I saw this and thought, maybe, but no, that's more of a future thing. For now, we are probably still, once again, going the strength route. Although, given how we've gotten Hollow Palm at this point, in which direction would we like to pick up the strength? I mean, this is really just jewel sockets and 2 keystones. And in most cases, those keystones are not things we want to have in the near future anyway. So yeah, now that we have Hollow Palm, I guess we could start doing some crit stuff. Honestly, I think it's just strength. Simple enough. It's just strength. Your female monk sounds, and that makes you happy. It is a witch who will become an infernalist, is the plan. It is our long-term specialization intention. We just in the early stages, so we've not yet done it. The plan is to punch people. Ow. Though unfortunately, at the moment, we are being punched. This guy in rage? Feels like he's gotten way faster. I've never noticed that before. Is that just me? Ow. He died. We're also about to die. And we're out of blast charges, which is a problem, especially if I pin myself in this corner. I'm actually not sure what happens if we respawn a checkpoint here. One moment. Let's find out. Do we have to redo the boss fight? We might. I think we do. It's a bit unfortunate. But that's okay. I just managed to actually pick up the quest item. That would have been lovely. If I had not had to blow through all my, ooh, that's gonna hurt. Did not have to blow through all my flasks right at the onset. That would have also helped quite a lot. Not just exclusively try to face tank him. I will admit, I was not quite sure what direction he was going in for that slam. Did have me concerned for a second. There we go. Stun him. Unfortunately, he's out of range of the totem. Thank you, totem. That's a lot of enemies. He's also about to die, but so are we if we get hit by that. There we go. Okay, now if we could actually pick up the quest item, that would be lovely. Oh, is there even a quest item, actually? There might just be no quest item on second thought. I was like, I was waiting for something to drop there, and then I thought, wait a second. That's just a regal orb. We might have been fine the first time. We might not have needed to have fought him a second time, but you know what? That's okay. Look, we get a transmute this time. Game changer.
You defeat defeated the raiders, you may...
Yeah, I guess that, now that you put it that way, that is kind of true. Is a witch the opposite of a monk? Maybe. Maybe. Well, actually, Lids, they are not on distant parts of the tree. They're actually quite close to each other on the tree, because the witch starts from here, and the monk starts from right here. So they're actually right next to each other.
Time is short.
Actually, Lids, the opposite of the witch would be the mercenary / duelist side, and the opposite of the monk would be the warrior / marauder side. Look. That's not the point, okay? The point is conceptually, thematically.
Young one, here we are.
Which ones are most dissimilar? Alright, well there we go. We made it through the entirety of Act 1, including doing at least all of the bosses that whose faces could be broken. And beyond that, we just went a little bit into Act 2 so we could get to town, but I think that makes this a pretty good stopping point. I think we made pretty good time in that regard. If you consider how many walls we walked into, I think we made decent time at that. But that gives you a sense of what the plan is, or what the build will look like for this character, at least at the early stages. And I think it did, by and large, I guess we'll just go to our hideout for a second. I think by and large, it did meet my expectations when it came to just how quickly and efficiently we could punch enemies' heads into oblivion. So that was nice. We, of course, do have more strength to scale, more flat damage to gain, more energy shield to scale, so that all of those factors can work together and make our character stronger, but there's plenty more time for that. As for what I will do in the coming week, I think, given how we do have another character in this league, I will probably just grind currency and whatnot with that character and use that to potentially pick up some more gear or other sorts of upgrades for this character. So I won't level up this character. I won't play this character off stream at all. I'll just play the other guy so that you guys don't miss anything when it comes to this character here. And hopefully, if we can continue on this pace, we'll be able to zoom through the latter acts fairly quickly. And given how we got a later start today, didn't have quite as much time as would have ideally had to progress. So hopefully in the future, we can have a little more time per session to make it through. And we do already have more of our end game, at least some of our end game gear in mind. In fact, yeah, there's the Astromantis, which we still don't have a high enough level to use yet, but that one's getting kind of close. This we might actually want to take off in the somewhat near future, but that's a minor note. Anyways, that is a first look at the character that we thought of about 5 other names we think would have been better than the one that we took immediately after we locked in our name, which does make me a little frustrated, but alas, you know, oh well, such is the way of things. Okay, and as I was saying, I do think we've been going for, I know, not terribly long tonight, but unfortunately, work went. When work goes 4 hours late, there's only so much you can do, right? So, we will be back on a future occasion, and it's getting late enough that I do need to go to bed. But as for our streaming schedule, yes, for future Path of Exile 2 streams, generally we've been doing these on Thursday nights rather than Wednesday nights. I just had anticipated that today was going to be better than tomorrow, although maybe, in fact, hindsight 2020, that may not have ended up being the case. Oh well. So yeah, probably next Thursday would be the day when we would next be doing some PoE2 stuff. As I said, I'll do some stuff off stream to just prepare for our next stream with more currency and gear and whatnot. Other than that, on Fridays, we're doing a Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer. On Saturdays, we're doing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. And then on Sundays, we're doing Pyre multiplayer. And if you enjoyed the stream, then of course you can hit the like button to support the stream. You can also hit the subscribe button to more easily stay up to date on the various things that we are doing around here. But actually, the best way to do that is by joining my Discord. And you can do that by clicking on... One moment. Just open chat here. By clicking on that link right there. But that's going to be it for me for tonight. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And I'll catch you next time.